What is good, my people, man? I gotta tell y'all, it feels very good to be out the streets, right? It feels very good. I sleep better at night. Don't gotta worry about looking over my shoulder. Don't gotta worry about if the police are building an investigation on me or anything like that. It feels good, especially in 2024, right? We got all this extra technology. It's a hundred different ways that you can get caught doing something that you're not supposed to be doing. So it's just always best to be a law-abiding citizen, right? Unfortunately, for one of my favorite rappers growing up, and a lot of y'all favorite rappers, Lil Durk, right? Unfortunately for him, he was straddling the fence for a long time, and mind you, like everything he's going through right now, I'm a firm believer of innocent until proven guilty, right? But someone did ask me, actually, my boy Kid Carr, he asked me about my thoughts on the whole situation with the whole murder for hire and the OTF jam allegations, and just like the state of drill rap, right? So we're gonna get into it. So like I said, Lil Durk, he was straddling the fence, man. One thing about it is if you're gonna do anything that's gonna put your face out to the world and you're trying to make money off it, and it's gonna come with a little bit of fame, like that was a big reason why I stepped out the streets, right? Because I like to make videos for you guys. I like traveling. I like trading. I didn't want those two worlds to intersect, and that's where Dirk was in like a sticky predicament, because a part of the reason why we liked him and liked his music because it was so real, it was so raw. Same thing with like King Von, right? It was real raw. It brought that emotion out of us. It showed like, because we all got that side in ourselves, right? That side that wants to stand on business and step on certain things and react in certain ways to certain situations. We all got that side in us. We just choose to control it. But when we hear it in the music, it kind of brings it out of us a little bit. And that's what we liked about Dirk, right? Now the thing about that is, if you are in the streets and you have fame and those worlds start to mesh, that's where you're going to end up getting in trouble. That's where you get the three-letter boys, any group, FBI, whoever it is. That's where you get these type of people on you, or you end up on their radar. And that's a space where he's been at for a long time. Him and Vaughn had beat a murder charge way back. And even just being around Vaughn, being from Chicago, being in that realm, I'm sure like the police and stuff have been wanting to catch him for a while. And, they feel like they got him, right? When the feds come in, it's usually not on no, yeah, we think you did this. It's like, or more so, we know you did it, and we know that, or we really feel like we can prove that you did it, right? Some things we can just take away from the situation without having to go too deep into the indictment and what he's actually charged about. We know it's allegedly he had something to do with the stuff in California with Quando Rondo and all that, right? And to me, it just shows that sometimes like you gotta you gotta go your own way from a lot of different things if you want to keep being successful in life. Because you gotta think, this guy, he got songs with Drake, all types of like huge artists that put him in a different stratosphere. And when you're still entertaining that old world, you still entertaining like all those old things, and you're trying to bring some of that old world into your new world, that's where you get messed up. That's why we see so many Ricos and all these different cases and charges with all these different rappers. And it's because they're trying to mesh their old world with their new world. When if you want to be successful, you're gonna have to pick one. Like, yeah, you can be the most successful street nigga, but you can't have that fame and that glory and like be the influence, be the voice. Like the voice, you gotta make a choice. You gotta make a choice. If you want the fame and you want to be the biggest rapper or the biggest whatever, that streamer or whatever you're doing, you're gonna have to push all that, take it your old world and keep it where it was. And this is easier said than done. This is why a lot of guys get caught up in these situations. And I do also think it's something to be said about the people that you have around you, man. Like the people that you have around you in the streets are not. Like a lot of people are just liabilities. Like to me, I look at a guy like OTF Jam, right? I don't know nothing about him, but that he took some case. They say Durk gave him 50K, and I guess he ended up getting caught on another case, and allegedly he had a wire or some type of recording device around Durk. So that's why he's in the indictment as well. And I don't think he's the only snitch, but he is one of them, right? Well, allegedly he is one of the snitches, right? And to me, I look at this guy, very overweight, probably does drugs. Um, I don't know. To me, if it's someone that can't control what they put in their mouth, how they gonna be able to control what they say out their mouth, right? So you gotta have people around you that are very disciplined, no matter what line of work you in. And it's not just OTF Jams, probably a few other guys that Durk have around him because he himself, he talks about drugs, he talks about struggling with getting off them and things like that. So if the leader, if the boss is on drugs, like a fish rots from the head down. So if you making missteps and doing drugs, and probably the people under you, the people working from you are also doing the same thing because, oh, the boss is doing it, right? And where Dirk comes from, he comes from a place where a lot of guys, they aren't really willing to get. I'm pretty sure he has some type of professional security, but most of the time he got homie security, right? And homie security is the ones that's not gonna be on point as much as a real security. And it's drawbacks because you feel like your homies are, if something really happens, they're gonna be more inclined to protect you rather than that paid security. They got families and stuff they worry about. They're probably gonna be like, some of them probably, the action happens and they might be running for the hills, right? But that could be the same case, but for some of your homies. But 9 times out of 10, he's from Chicago, so he's probably seen some of his guys in action, so he knows like, if guns start shooting, bullets start flying, my guy's gonna start shooting back. So he probably felt comfortable having a lot of these guys around him. And we also can't forget Durk. He, was throwing subliminals as far as like just things like, because we all know that Chief Keef, he left Chicago a long time ago, and as far as like his music quality, that's debatable, right? Some people like his music now, some people don't. But I think that he didn't get that push that he did because he didn't have his city behind him, because he did leave. Rather, Durk, he was the type of guy rapping about guys like Keith that left the city and not paying for bills and not being a real nigga and holding his people down and paying for lawyers and all this different stuff. And Chief Keef, he got out of that life early. He went to LA, took a couple of his guys with him, so he didn't have to worry about sending money back to Chicago, having to come back to Chicago to always help out certain people. He decided like, yo, I'm gonna leave my old world behind, which was honestly, for his life, best choice he ever made for his music career. Probably put him down a little bit, but as far as his life and his development and him being able to heal from his past traumas and be able to play paintball with his homies and all that stuff, that was the best choice he could have made. Because he could easily be in a RICO, he could easily be in some type of conspiracy uh, charge, right? Some type of indictment. He could easily be a part of that if he didn't step out of that world and say, yo, I'm gonna be a big artist and I'm gonna leave all that behind. Because at some point, you are gonna, you can say, oh, I'm the realest guy. Yeah, I pay for lawyers, I pay for bail. But at some point, if those guys keep going through that revolving door, which we all know, a lot of guys that go to jail, they keep going back, right? So that means you're gonna have to keep paying for bails. You're gonna have to keep paying for lawyers, keep sending people mamas money and stuff like that because you didn't teach them how to fish for themselves. You've been handing out stuff all the time. And we see it time and time again. It's always that disgruntled friend, those disgruntled people that be around soon as money stop coming. Guys, they get less loyal for some reason. It's like they say, if you don't feed your wolves, they're gonna eat you, right? So I do think he got multiple people around him that are telling in this case. Hopefully he doesn't have much to do with it like they are saying he does. And hopefully he can beat the case. Like I said, I wouldn't wish jail on nobody, especially no federal prison time and stuff like that. Wouldn't wish that on nobody. At the same time, we all gotta be accountable for our actions. It's like, okay, if I would have stayed in the streets and got into a situation where somebody did me wrong and I had to go get my get back, and I ended up getting in trouble for that, I would have had to take it on the chin. Like, I made those actions. Now I'm in a space where I'm a law-abiding citizen. All I gotta worry about is defending myself and my family if someone's trying to mess with us. And or if it's a different situation, I can call the police. And I don't have to worry about seeming weak or whatever for not handling something. I can be more of a spiritual man and understand. The Bible says something about your enemies will become your doorstep if you just let God handle these situations. Like, they would become your footstool. So it's like, and I've seen that time and time again throughout my life. I've seen people do stuff to good people, and you know, their lives get fucked up after. Their lives get fucked up after, because usually if you get away with doing something bad, you are gonna keep doing these things over and over again, right? 9 times out of 10, it's like the person who gets locked up for a murder charge, or even this situation, right? Durk and all them, they've been getting away with stuff for a while. This ain't the first crime they did. Yeah, if you think this is the first crime they ever did, you crazy. You're crazy. This not the first crime they ever did. And, you know, I don't know if they did this one, but I'm pretty sure, like I said before in other videos, every time you have a habit of doing something, you build in a rhythm. You build in a rhythm. And it's only a matter of time before you get the results. You know, it's seasons of sowing and seasons of reaping. And, you know, he's in the season of reaping now. So he got to go through what he got to go through. Hopefully keep himself in good spirits. So yeah, man, the last thing I really want to say about this is just keep in mind when you listening to some of this music, man, keep in mind that the frequencies is putting into your mind, as far as like the things that make you want to do, or the thoughts it's putting into your head. Because I ain't gonna lie, some of them songs, you know, they get me turned up, they get me ready. I'm trying to go do something right now type beat. So a lot of that stuff I don't listen to now. I usually, if anything, I'm listening to just more chill stuff, some get money music, or music that's in a different language that I'm trying to learn. I listen to a lot of African music, a lot of Caribbean music. And, you know, it's stuff in those things too that's not necessarily as good, but at least it's not all shoot 'em, kill, you feel me? I do think drill music definitely took a hold on this generation. Going further forward, it's gonna be hard for it now, because we see the ones that we like, they're the realists, right? They're the ones who is really living what they rapping, and we see what happens to them. So it's like, we can't expect it to keep like going on at how it is. Like, I mean, of course, it's always gonna be those guys that do come in and change their life and understand, okay, I gotta leave that old word alone, and they can still make good music. But for a lot of the reasons that we love drill music is because it was real, and a lot of the stuff was like so current and so close when it started. Like, it was literally a whole war going on in Chicago, Chirac, whatever you want to call it. It's a whole war going on. So we listening, oh, this side beefing with this side. Like, the record labels is the main winners when it comes to the drill music. That's why they're gonna keep pushing it. They're gonna keep going to Chicago, finding that one guy that is making nice popping songs, but he's still really living that life. And they're gonna be, you know, pick them up, put them on a pedestal, push them to the masses, because they know, hey, we in a win-win situation. This guy goes to jail, this guy dies, his music only goes up, right? So we eating off that, and you know, we ain't gotta do nothing. We ain't gotta tote no guns, we ain't gotta have no beef with nobody. All we gotta do is promote the music, and we getting paid, whether he alive or not. And that's really the sad truth about drill music. The record labels, the people behind the scenes, they not putting in no work in the streets, but benefiting the most off of it. So yeah, man, hope you found some value in this video. Definitely a crazy situation. I'm gonna keep my eye on it just to like see how it ends up. Like I said, I hope it does turn out well for Durk, but we all have to face the music. We all have to receive what we put back in, what we put out into the world. We gotta receive it and we gotta go through it. We gotta, just ask for forgiveness and just make better choices at the end of the day. Like, yeah, I'm out.